This is the emergency alert system for the state of Kansas, issued at the request of the Kansas Division of Emergency Management. Time 3:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. A mandatory evacuation order has been issued for residents of Finney County, Kearney County, Western Gray County. Due to extreme wildfire conditions, containment efforts have failed. Winds exceeding 40 miles per hour are carrying flames across highways and into residential zones. Instructions: residents in the evacuation area must leave immediately. Travel east toward designated evacuation centers in Ford County. Avoid Highway 83 due to heavy smoke and blocked lanes. Do not attempt to defend property. Take only essential belongings. Shelters are being established in Dodge City Civic Center, Ford County High School Gymnasium. Emergency services are operating at full capacity. Failure to evacuate will place lives in immediate danger. Stay tuned to local news and radio for updates. Do not return until the all clear is given. This concludes this emergency alert system message.
Kansas. This is video from a large fire just west of Plainville. This from a viewer, and we're told there are multiple fires and evacuations in that area. Homes were destroyed yesterday or damaged. KSN's Zach Martin, boots on the ground there in north central Kansas.
Good morning, Jeff. We've been out here between Paradise and Waldo for the past several hours as fire crews continue to battle these wildfires that started yesterday afternoon. I'm going to have our photojournalist James Hayer go ahead and pan to the left. You can still see over the horizon very large wildfires still being handled, and we've got Osborne County Fire as well as a lot of other volunteer and full-time fire departments trying to put out these flames. I spoke to one homeowner from Natoma.
This is the emergency alert system. This is not a test. Issued at the request of the United States Forest Service and the National Weather Service at 4:20 p.m. Central Standard Time. Wildfire complexes originally identified near eastern Kansas have now expanded into western Colorado and northern New Mexico. Additional fire lines have been detected moving towards southern Wyoming. The primary fire front now measures over 80 miles in length, with flame heights exceeding 200 feet in certain sectors. Persistent drought, high winds exceeding 45 miles per hour, and record temperatures continue to fuel uncontrollable spread. Containment efforts by federal and state agencies have been unsuccessful. Officials report that several small towns in Colorado and Kansas have been completely destroyed within the last 24 hours. Casualty counts remain unconfirmed. Residents in eastern Colorado, western Kansas, northern New Mexico, and southern Wyoming are under mandatory evacuation orders. Shelters have been established in Denver, Albuquerque, and Wichita. Authorities stress that this is a developing emergency. Residents outside the immediate evacuation zones should prepare supplies and plan evacuation routes in advance. Remain tuned to local officials for updated instructions. Further information will follow.
This is KEXRC News out of Denver, Colorado. Time now is 7:02 p.m. Central. We're bringing you the latest on the fire situation spreading across multiple states. Officials have confirmed that the town of Hugo, Colorado has been completely destroyed. Nearly every structure is burned to the ground. Emergency services say at least 200 residents remain unaccounted for. In western Kansas, the fire reached the outskirts of Goodland late this afternoon. Eyewitnesses described flames moving faster than vehicles could safely evacuate. Interstate 70 was temporarily closed due to smoke and low visibility, with thousands of drivers stranded before being escorted to safety. Fire crews from Texas, Utah, and Arizona have been deployed to assist, but many officials admit the conditions are unlike anything they've ever seen. Wind gusts are carrying embers miles ahead of the main fire line, igniting new blazes faster than containment lines can be established. Shelters in Denver, Wichita, and Santa Fe are now at capacity, forcing overflow centers to open in schools and churches. Aid groups are reporting critical shortages of water, masks, and medical supplies. We want to remind everyone, if you are in an evacuation zone, leave immediately, do not wait. The fire is not behaving like a typical wildfire, and delays could be fatal. Unconfirmed reports suggest the flames are creating what firefighters call a firestorm effect, generating its own wind and lightning. One official described it as a wall of heat that feels alive. We'll continue updates at the top of the hour. Stay safe and stay tuned.
This is the emergency alert system. Please stand by for an urgent message from the National Weather Service. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government and the National Weather Service. Multiple uncontrolled firestorms are spreading across the central and western United States. States of Colorado, Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Texas are under full-scale evacuation orders. Wind-driven flames have exceeded all containment capabilities, with several fire fronts moving at speeds of up to 30 miles per hour. These conditions are considered unprecedented. The following counties are under immediate evacuation orders: Colorado, Elbert, Lincoln, Cheyenne, Kit Carson, Kansas, Sherman, Thomas, Sheridan, Logan, Wallace, Nebraska, Dundee, Chase, Perkins, New Mexico, Union, Colfax, Harding, Texas, Panhandle, Dallam, Sherman, Hansford, Hartley. Residents in these areas must evacuate to designated shelters immediately. Do not attempt to fight the fire. Do not remain behind. Emergency services can no longer guarantee rescue operations within evacuation zones. If you are located outside of the listed areas, prepare for possible mandatory evacuations within the next 12 to 24 hours. Firestorms have begun generating paracumulonimbus clouds, creating intense winds and dry lightning that may ignite additional fires far ahead of the main fronts. This is not a localized emergency. This is a multi-state disaster. Federal response has been activated, including the mobilization of the National Guard and FEMA. Please follow instructions from local authorities and prepare for long-term displacement. This message will repeat. Stay tuned to local broadcasters for shelter information.
At least 2 people were unable to escape the flames. Another burn victim narrowly made it out alive during evacuations. The Southern California blaze destroying homes near the town of Hemet, fueled by conditions that acted like a blowtorch.
The fire was in alignment with the canyon, with the wind and the topography, so everything lined up for a critical rate of spread.
The inferno blew through here so quickly, many of the homes that were destroyed were lost in minutes. Those that made it were protected by fire retardant dropped from the sky or random luck.
With California wildfires killing 4 people in just days, historic heat is still baking the West.
Horrible. It's just so hot.
The 46 million struggling through sweltering conditions that have lasted a week won't see relief for days. After shattering records, several cities will stay above or near triple digits through much of the week, the worst heat wave of its kind in 150 years.
We're melting.
As some cities record their hottest day today, the suffocating heat dome over the West has only intensified.
This is the emergency alert system. Important information will follow.
My fellow Americans, tonight I am speaking to you under the gravest of circumstances. Over the past 48 hours, unprecedented firestorms have swept across the central United States. Entire towns have been destroyed, hundreds of lives lost, and millions displaced. This is not a typical wildfire. Scientists confirm that the scale and speed of these fires are unlike anything in recorded history. They are moving faster, burning hotter, and generating their own weather patterns. Entire regions are now at risk. I have ordered a full mobilization of federal resources, including the National Guard, FEMA, and coordination with international allies. Emergency shelters are being established nationwide, and aid convoys are moving to critical areas as we speak. But I must be clear, our response alone cannot guarantee safety. If you are in or near an evacuation zone, you must follow the instructions of local authorities immediately. Do not assume you are safe. These fires can cover miles in minutes. To those already displaced, we will not abandon you. This is a test of our resilience as a nation, and we will endure. But I ask every American to prepare for hardship, to look after one another, and to remain united in this crisis. We will survive this tragedy. We will rebuild, and we will stand together as one nation.
This is a public safety announcement from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Firestorm activity in the central United States has reached levels never before recorded. Current data confirms that the primary fire fronts across Colorado, Kansas, Nebraska, and Oklahoma have merged into what scientists are calling a continental-scale fire system. Unlike normal wildfires, this system is generating its own atmospheric conditions. Satellite imagery shows multiple cumulonimbus clouds stretching over 200 miles in length, producing dry lightning, extreme winds, and in some cases, rotating fire vortices exceeding F-2 tornado strength. Containment is no longer possible using conventional firefighting techniques. All aerial suppression has been grounded due to intense turbulence and ash density. On-the-ground crews have been withdrawn in most areas for their own safety. This system is now classified as self-sustaining. Modeling indicates that, without a drastic shift in climate conditions, the firestorm will continue to expand indefinitely until it consumes all available fuel sources. Projections showed possible spread into major metropolitan areas within 48 hours, including Denver, Colorado, Wichita, Kansas, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Amarillo, Texas. Residents in or near these regions must prepare for mandatory evacuation. This is not a localized wildfire. This is an atmospheric event. Treat it as such. Remain alert, remain mobile, and remain safe.
This is the emergency alert system. This is not a test. This message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. Containment of the firestorm system has completely failed. As of this broadcast, the cities of Denver, Wichita, Amarillo, and Oklahoma City are experiencing uncontrollable firestorm conditions. Civilian evacuation is no longer possible in these metropolitan areas. Current fire fronts span over 400 miles in width and continue to expand in all directions. The National Weather Service confirms the firestorm has created a permanent atmospheric cycle sustaining its own growth. All firefighting operations nationwide have ceased. Infrastructure collapse is widespread. Power outages, loss of communications, and the breakdown of supply lines are being reported across multiple states. Shelters are overwhelmed and unable to accommodate further evacuees. Federal agencies have declared the firestorm an uncontainable national disaster. To all residents of the United States, follow local authority guidance if available. If you are in the designated safe zone, do not leave. If you are within an active fire region and unable to evacuate, seek shelter underground or in reinforced structures. Survival cannot be guaranteed. This is the final nationwide transmission regarding the Black Sunday firestorm. Further updates may not be possible.